you know, come to terms, I suppose, and with their own rosters and make their own moves and really settle into the positions they're at right now. But the stakes of this match, Josh, are actually quite simple in theory. Sentinels would love a win here today against Cloud9. It would set themselves up beautifully as they look forward to those playoffs. And for Cloud9, it's a little bit more simpler. They beat Sentinels. They've beaten every single North American team that's currently in the Americas split. It's the last team that they've got to take off their list.
Poison's off.
First map here of Lotus. We get started on the pistol round as a slow beginning.
Very slow, isn't it? Sentinels anticipating some level of aggression from Cloud9. And as the Trailblazer comes in through C, I saw Leaf getting a little antsy, looking like he wanted to push. The Trailblazer goes out. Is he going to try and open this door? What's the play here? Leaf has to be worried about playing too far forwards because that rotating door could open at any point. Sentinels have bound control.
They do back away.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, okay, Paranoia in his face there. Zekken lined it up. That was from Def, yeah. So not able to see that, but a quick maneuver over now towards the B side. You can see the smokes drop down late down as that late lurk that might play importance as well later on. Fight to be taken, no one really clearing, but okay, but Zekken managing it. Not only that, getting two for his troubles. Celsius pushing forwards past the smoke, and Zekken watches it. Watchful eye on all the extremities as that B hit started to come through, and a critical pistol round to go their way.
Yeah, you got everything that you're hoping for as a Sentinels fan there, and you can see the crowd being happy about it as well. Zekken on the entry, on the raise, popping heads, looking great with the frenzy, and here's that lurk from Marv catching Rooney. There's just so many awesome matchups in terms of the head-to-heads in this match. Obviously, you have, to me, the star one is Zekken versus Leaf. And as we go into map 2 on Fracture, that's probably going to end up being Zekken versus Zeppa on the raise. But more so, how does Zekken on entry stack up against whoever Cloud9 are putting forwards there? And then the places where Sentinels can find that big star power advantage, in theory, is the Marv v Jake and the Sassy v Rooney kind of head-to-heads. Obviously, Marv and Rooney both playing Viper on this map. And so I think for the newer players from Cloud9 or the players with less experience, it's just about matching up against Marv and Sassy and trying to neutralize them. Marv's having none of it today, though, is he?
Yeah, got to wake up a little bit early, I think, to catch Marv unaware.
Especially when he's got the Vandal round 2.
Confidence. Free side over towards T. It's going to be that plan easily enough. Those head-to-head matchups that you were alluding to, Josh, are going to play so much importance. What we're going to be keeping an eye on in this series, especially with the roles chopping and changing.
Because also, Bren, you heard from Zelsis there right before the game began. Oh, there we go. Shouldn't make too much difference, though. But a Vandal in the hands of Jake is certainly something that Sentinels will want to take back. Jake feeling confident enough to try and take the duel instead of save the Vandal there. Not the percentage play, but listen, I can appreciate it.
A lot of damage being done, though, onto that round. You know, 3 players surviving.
Yeah.
You get to keep the guns going, but yeah.
I did just want to point out, though, we heard from Zelsis earlier in an interview that we showed on broadcast where he said, for Sentinels, they need somebody to kill 3 or 4 players in a round just to win the round. And Zelsis said, I don't think that that's reliable. And that, to me, is the big story of this match. Cloud9 have been able to get with this roster way earlier. They look disciplined. Their map pool looks fantastic. Sentinels are still kind of pugging it, improvising. Like that, exactly.
Flip of the finger. Stuns. Let loose and let rip. Marv being pushed off that angle as well. Can't opt into playing it. Firing off the utility just to see if he can, you know, feign that they're disrespecting it and taking that Rune's control.
It is actually a cool snake bite, the one that Marv threw. It denies Jake from TPing up there, or if he did, he would take a lot of damage from it. It's like a molly that lands on top of rubble. Slow beginnings to the pistol and round 3 here. Trailblazers match. And the one from Zeppa just... The idea being to deny Sentinels that space they're trying to take off the dog and keep Jake in position.
Okay, that early position that was taken, it had to be util used in exchange of it. You can see the Paranoia was sent flying. Now, there's a lot of danger behind this round of Sentinels, despite them being on the bonus round, because they managed their economy well enough that they've got those Bulldogs and rifles. So the pressure starts to mount on Cloud9, in particular Leaf. Holding his ground now with 30 seconds remaining.
The stun here is so good, potentially.
Oh, wow, Jamie just takes up the straight-up fight. Boombot heading towards him, gives him the timing that he knew to take.
There's
Backs away, 20 seconds. What is the goal? Where do you want to land? Opening up the door, looks like potentially into the B site, but a little bit on still. Holding the angle, pixel perfect. That's what it is for Marv.
Left.
Taking out one of the players. Flash to the side, going to be dodged and still holding that high ground position. Slide off angle, the jiggle of the movement from Jake. He aims to take the fight, but doesn't get rewarded. Still being taken. And it's all being watched for. Zeppa, the Phantom spam, but 2 players watching him. He won't get much further than that.
That looks so clean from Sentinels. Really, really solid round. Considering there was only 20 seconds left on the clock and they'd been denied C, and Leaf found the first kill, to be able to pivot into the B side, and Marv knowing the exact angle that Rooney was trying to hold, just that slim little crack that feels like an off angle, but actually is the spot that you're most predictable to be stood at if you're in heaven trying to just get info safely. I mean, the read there from Marv is gorgeous to open that up. And then he grabs another by double facing with Def.
Cover going out.
It looked so calm, considering the time limit.
And normally, now we're entering a scenario where Cloud9 are on the weaker guns, or on the weaker buy. And for any other team, you might start to talk about the storylines, the wider points. But with Cloud9, they are so damn successful. We're on these thrifty rounds.
It's just ridiculous.
An unbelievable level of consistency. And with those 2 opening picks they've already got, might look to put another one on the board. Why not? Rifles going their way. It's left down to just 2. Sassy and Zekken. And what risks do you take? Pushing forwards here. Zekken doesn't want to try and take the timing. A ton of damage in the process, but he did find his placement there towards Waterfall. Deep in a tucked-in position. Stuns, rattle across. Sassy, Paranoia. He's blinded up. Nanoswarm at his feet as well. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And Cloud9 just like that. You can't count them out.
They went another thrifty. It's just bonkers. The Des were talking about it earlier, but they have twice the thrifty win rate of every other team. The average is about 15%. They're sat at 32%. If you think about it, right? When you have rifles in a round, you're supposed to win about half the time. So, you know, gun round win rate is supposed to be about 50%. Their thrifty win rate is 32%. It barely makes a difference.
Almost approaching that level, but yeah, something about this team. Fearless when it comes to taking the fights, even when they're on the eco.
But also, that's part of it, right? They have that level of aggression to their play that normally they don't. They normally play with a lot of discipline, and then on the ecos, they take risks. But they're risks that they play together. They have a calculated piece of aggression where they swarm a player.
Yeah, always calculated, converging on one player or 2.
And now we're back onto the gun round. Cloud9 are going to fight over C, over Mound. This is the area that Sentinels have been prioritizing to start the rounds, but they default heavily towards B right now. It's still slow, but everybody on Sentinels is grouped up, ready to hit the B site and pop down this Viper's Pit.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the sole goal, isn't it? Marv, his important ultimate. It's going to be the one to note. Lockdown does clear all the way through. There's going to be no chance in hell that Cloud9 are able to break this one. You can see Zeppa. He's holding an aggressive angle, but we'll have to respect this one eventually, because there we go, finally coming through. Nade as well. So Flash is going to be one of the Nanoswarm. Zekken stood right in the fray of it. Chunked down to absolutely no help at all. Plan starts to go down. Where is the pit? Doesn't want to opt to use it. Still holding into the choke point, holding these angles. Gliding forwards. The Seekers, they're all blinded up, and they cannot stand a chance. Cloud9 flooding right back in, denying any opportunity of getting that plant down.
Keep that fire,
Really great round by Cloud9. Even though they were pushed away by the lockdown, they throw out the Neon stuns early, and then they've got the Nanoswarms to deny the plant, and all of that results in Sentinels still being not properly set up by the time the retake comes back through. And at that point, it's Leaf diving forwards, Paranoia in, Flash is coming from the sky. But all of it only able to work because Cloud9 delayed Sentinels from getting in off the lockdown to start with. Very smart play. Well executed.
Money's looking a little bit odd in this current scenario for Sentinels. I mean, Sassy's working with the Spectre, but everybody grouped up now. Attempt to reclaim. They're going to be meeting them pound for pound, aren't they, with the bodies? Holding the util in their hands. Dog's going to be spotting one or two, backing away.
You look at what Def is doing. He's holding his paranoia ready to fight this.
And he's going to be sending this one flying, I think, as soon as the dog well broken up.
Look at how good these neon stuns are from Leaf. He's using them to stop Sentinels from taking space. They use a Trailblazer there. They can't do anything because there's a stun on the choke point.
It's been 40 seconds bought just from that alone.
And here, I thought Leaf was going to come over to B and read the play properly. He's not here, but all the Killjoy utility is. Everywhere they go, they're facing stuns or nanoswarms.
If the end goal is B, they'll have a hard time of it with all of the Killjoy utility, like you're saying, Josh, just lay it down. But it looks like the rest of Sentinels grouping up. Orb's going to fall now. It's the timing that Sentinels could take, and they're making a lot of noise in the process. Leaf at the back of the side, he's blinded, near-sided. Everybody vulnerable, but he just cannot quite land the shots. No kills to be claimed, yet Zelsis, he does respond. Backing him up, him and Rooney in the crossfire setup is perfect.
Not ready yet.
The push and pull left the 3 players left standing. Smoke has to go up now, and the plant also needs to be at least situated. 11 seconds remaining. There's an opportunity for Cloud9 to take a fight, and they do just that. They knew the plant was going down, and it was going to be isolated into some of these fights. And how does this get taken? 2v4. It'd have to be heroics. It'd have to be massive, and it just can't be that at all when Cloud9 are just so damn regimented.
Very well done. They look so clean on these retake attempts. Like, they have very clear ideas of what they want to be doing. They're putting the pressure down together, always coordinated, very disciplined. They don't give free peeks. They only play when they know that Sentinels are going to be distracted.
10 seconds left. Spike planted.
It's looking extremely regimented from Cloud9 here. With a teleport.
Should be able to teleport immediately, yeah.
Yeah, and try and fight over it. Instead, though, it looks like a very similar kind of setup to start this early round from Sentinels. But look at that. Instantly, Leaf just sends one stun into the A choke point, and he's wrapping all the way around to C.
It's a benefit that you can have with the Neon. Faster rotations.
It's crazy, actually, the value that Footballists have been getting from it, or Foot, I should say, sorry, over in EMEA. Yeah. And no one else apart from them and Cloud9 are playing the Neon on this map, really.
Even though it seems really quite effective. It's going to be that reclear. Maybe not all of it, though. Could be the backside of Ruins. Of course, we know that nobody's there. And SEN move forwards.
Yeah, they've managed to get in through A here, so already a very different dynamic in the round.
But they're going to be meeting the Killjoy setup. Zelsis has moved and shifted it over. It's been on B for most of these rounds, and it's been chewing up Sentinels every time they try and attack. And now it might be another thorn in their sides if they want to try and go for this one. Here's the util. Popped off. Delays, denies any of them from being able to move up and take that space. Paranoia. Nade clearing out to the middle section, but Leaf still off to the side here. There was that nade up towards his feet, but now he's being really pressured hard. The lockdown pushing him back, and it's a pivot. Yet Rooney, he holds his ground and holds it down. The convergence on his position, just into the connector. But still, they will not get any further into the B site, and the spike is in such an awful spot. 15 seconds left in a 2v4. You just got to save. Got to back away, got to try and keep these rifles, yet they can't afford to it. Fight's still being taken, they know where Def is. His position's noted, and he is taken out.
Leaf can be very happy about that one. The read is perfect. You'd called it out exactly, Brent. The Killjoy setup had rotated. They were giving them access to A, knowing that that would be an adjustment coming out from the timeout, and just melted them with the Killjoy utility. It's not so much that the KJ utility, you know, killed people, but it allowed Leaf to play a very secure spot. They had 3 players stacking onto the A site. The lockdown was still good as well, that pushed them away. And then they read the pivot into B. It just feels like Cloud9 are one step ahead. And bear in mind, by the way, that this is the most attacking-sided map that we have in the entire rotation.
Yeah.
For Cloud9 to be putting up 4 already in the first 7, this is an amazing start on Sentinel's map.
It's already a good half. You see these teams leaning into a lot of the double controller comps as well, just to shore up the defenses and make sure that you know, can scrape together as many rounds as possible. Attacking should be, in theory, the easier side of things. And this is going to be a wonderful start, looking to grab that 5th round on the board as well for the defensive side, when you consider that Sentinels aren't working with much at all. Scraps, basically, the Sheriffs, but even with scraps, sometimes you see the magic being performed. Just takes a couple of shots to be landed.
And it showcases how uncomfortable Sentinels have been in these planting situations, that they've managed to get the spike down every time, and yet Marv has not been able to use his Viper's Pit in post.
Same utility to clear forwards here. Def actually the one TPing past a lot of this. Sunned up though onto the corner, now a showstopper. It's all being utilized to try and push them back. Okay, one shot landed, rocket flies forward. No kills to be claimed, yet Zephyr still holding it. 16 health and a dream, and guess what? Made manifest. Still alive, holding it. No one able to push past this one. Flash connects, dodged by Sassy, yet still 4 in the round for him. Lovely job done, building up to the Seekers yet again.
And the smile on MCE's face says it all. The game plan is just working perfectly. SEN had a couple of nice ideas at the beginning. Apart from that, they've been completely shut out. Whenever they get into a post-plant spot, they're always not favored. C9 have grabbed a kill early, or they've slowed them down, all got set up for the retake. It's just been devastating. The Killjoy utility once again on the A side of things here. Neon stun at A makes it feel very similar. But they're going to stack towards the C side early and allow them entry to A, because they're perfectly happy holding this area with Zellsis and Leaf. Zekken used his ult in the prior round, so they don't have that showstopper to get in onto C and create space for the pit to go down. I'm really wondering when Marv is going to get a chance to use this pit. He's playing the lurk, committing over to the A site a lot, and he's not there early with the rest of his team, or at least not in a comfortable post-plant spot to use this ult. And look at this again. Leaf has put early pressure rubble, rotates to C in the mid-round at the minute mark. They're stacking C with Killjoy utility towards A, and they're confident in their B retakes. The game plan just looks great from C9.
Very defensive setup. Holding their ground as well. 40 seconds. Ticking down, whittling away. The alarm bot's going to be spotting one of the players moving close. That's Marv, so alerted now to the presence, and you might start to see those rotations coming through from Cloud9.
30 seconds left.
Job of Zellsis is just to try and hold on for as long as he possibly can, and it won't be for much long at all. Viper's Pit in the hands of Marv here. He can drop that one down and give some coverage to the rest of his team, but he is very low.
Yeah, he's only 20 health.
One shot will really bring down the entirety of this defense as they get into the post plan. Still, Cloud9 look to coalesce themselves, now pushing forwards into the pit. Dropping down, Zekken holding one angle for it. Moving though, vulnerable up, and well, right through the box. Cornered up angle, gliding. Marv, decayed down, has to back away. The pit will be falling in just a moment. Where's the rest of his team to help him out here? Spamming every single corner of it. Pit's going to be falling any moment now. Spraying through, laid it down. My God, it just was not noted. He didn't know that Jake had already maneuvered his way to the side.
And the retake works once more for Cloud9. Def even threatened to use his ult to reposition into their spawn, but they just couldn't hold on.
I feel the strain.
Cloud9 dominated the Viper's Pit. The early damage onto Marv forced him to play a passive position. They couldn't hold on. Zekken got spammed. Cloud9 controlled every spot around the pit. And then after spamming and getting a player advantage, they swarm in together. The coordination looks brilliant from this squad. They look probably like one of the most disciplined teams in Americas. Well, it's them and Leviathan, probably.
Which is just absurd. You consider where we began with this roster. You know, it was turbulent at best. That's how you describe it. Bringing in the rookie upstarts, Rooney and Jake. Obviously, experience at the tier 2 and collegiate level, but, you know, brought to the big stage, surrounded by a lot of that veteran talent, yet what they've been able to do has been nothing short of brilliant. You can see that, just a little fight being taken. The walls go straight back up again, and they disengage, backing away.
And for all of the merits that we were giving Cloud9 on their ability to win ecos, and we did see one of those in round 4, it's been the gun rounds that have just been devastating for Sentinels. They haven't won one. They managed to win the pistol and then the bonus round, which, to be fair, was almost like for like in terms of the weaponry on board. And Marv has gotten off a very nice lurk here.
Yep. deep through, but this wall's about to be dropping soon, and there's going to be 3 players meeting one of them. There we go. Pancada does not anticipate it. Looking towards the top of the staircase.
Oh, but Marv knows that they're all retreating.
But it's about this fight, and Leaf is so damn aware.
That's ridiculous.
The way he peeks that angle, the way he takes that fight.
I can't believe that.
Fully favored.
I'm amazed that he thinks Marv could be in that spot. But it is Marv. And now in the 2v5, it is very sad signs for Sentinels.
10 seconds left.
Remember, Cloud9 have dominated every other North American team that we've got. Sentinels, sure, Sassy and Pancada are on the squad, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to save them here.
Not even able to keep those guns.
C9 just look insane.
Yeah.
And now this demonstrates that their map pool is just bonkers.
It's all over the place, but in terms of the strengths of it, it's absurd.
It's crazy. Cloud9 look amazing on Ascent, and Cloud9 got rid of Ascent to go to Haven as map 3. What does that tell you? If we can even get to a 3rd map, Cloud9 might have something monstrous cooked up there after their loss to NRG. And then they also look incredible on Pearl, a map that they decided to get rid of, because Sen also looked good there. And they look great on Split, too.
Cloud9 team making resounding waves, knocking at the door of every single North American team. One final opponent left if they really want to try and claim the top spot amongst the North American teams. That's Sentinels here. So far, so good. 7-3, still controlling. You peek your head out that angle towards A, see if you can get a freebie as well just by taking someone's head off. Not likely, and Zelsis inside of the smoke watch for has the util as well. So Turret sees that one, wants to take the fight. Drop down to 20 health though, has to respect it. Meanwhile, a lot of pressure being applied. That's Def.
Oh, okay, finally Leaf gets taken out. His reign of terror potentially curbed just for a moment. And Sentinels get into a post plant, but once more, it's not a favored one.
No, not a favored one. Players weakened. Seekers now to try and give them that information. Fight needs to be taken by Marv with the Guardian. Tap with a rifle. He is in position now. Picked up that Vandal. Defuse starts to come through, but the lockdown in play. Half on the Defuse, sticking it all the way. Angles are being watched for. The call's being made. They're just stacking it.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing. Last round.
Smiles on their face. I mean, it's just disbelief.
Sen didn't have the weaponry to be able to swing there, and we're just hoping that Cloud9 would not go for it, would not fully stick. And Marv's not in a spot where he can defend the spike. This is absolute domination. And Leaf is just controlling the whole game. The game plan is excellent from Cloud9, but Leaf's ability to be in the right place at the right time, perfectly reading where Sentinels want to go on the map and denying them constantly, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's taking luxuries with it. And look at this, Paranoia flash over the top as well, just afforded now Sentinels investing heavily into try and push this one back, but Zelsis, oh, he might have done his homework. That's a ping in the common position where people are usually going to be trailblazing and standing still. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Marv was dropped to 1 health.
1 HP before the heal comes through.
Yep. He's going to be topped back up to 100, but it's also a little bit unlucky not to claim a kill there, but you could see it at play. They knew the orb was going to be played for. It was pinged out.
And this round, if it gets down to a low amount of time, Rooney's just going to use his pit preemptively. So Sentinels need to hurry up. The Trailblazer comes towards B. Marv picks up another orb. He's looking for that pit to come online. And here comes Rooney. The time is low enough now that he just feels happy committing it.
And this is an absolute chokehold. All on the defensive side. Doors rotating, but they're being funneled right into the B site. Zelsis perfectly willing to let them in here. Confidence in their retakes for the rest of his team, because the position's noted. Look at this from Leaf as well, flanking all the way through main. The extra element, but with a Viper Pit in play now, this is where things do get a little bit more tricky. Kill found as well towards Heaven. That's Pancada winning his fight, but Marv low enough that a single bullet again will bring him down. As soon as he's down, and yep, dealt with, so does the pit. Flash, not finding anything. Fight to be taken. Swinging all the way through. Sassy does well to get 2, but left up to Pancada. Tap down to the one-on-one, sticking it through. Rooney, smoke covering him all the way. Pro's not faking it the slightest, and that's 9-3. Absolutely impeccable stuff.
Losing it there. Rooney taking down Marv. And also, that entire first half, Zekken went 0-5 on first kills. Died 5 times out of 12 at the beginning of the rounds, and most of those to Leaf.
So nothing really going SEN's way.
I mean, Leaf just absolutely controlling the game.
Now you're on one of the more difficult sides of the map as well. Lotus so far proving to be very attacker-sided. Alarm bot's broken, it was spotted out. Orb into the side, Pancada. Back of his mind, holding his ground here, but potential was there for a little peek, but now the angles are watched for. Nana Swarm's dropped down, and his post plant set up by Cloud9 is so damn good. Already putting the pressure and the heat turned up. Off to the side, smoking away. Leaf doesn't overstep his boundaries. He backs away almost immediately. He's done his job with the kill found. Nade as well, going to be clearing him out all the way, but look at how fast he's ducking, weaving, bobbing, juking his way past all this utility up close into the smoke. Pancada wins his one. Still the trade is there, sticking it. Not to halfway though. Have to get off of it now. Positions noted for Rooney. Do they have the util to really deny this one? I believe the Nanoswarm's cleared. Right clicks down. It's up to Zekken. A tap onto it. Was hoping for a wider swing, but no one's giving him any ground or space whatsoever. And with the pistol round 1, this map is all but sealed up, just missing a pretty bow tie.
Yeah, this is complete dominance. Absolute dominance. The game plan just working to perfection. Cloud9's post-plant positions are so disciplined in that spot. And even when some of them fall, even with only those 2 players left alive, they're disciplined to just peek the spike, make sure there's nobody on it, and only commit to fights when they need to. It just seals it up for them, despite the player disadvantage. Sentinels came out here with a pick on Lotus. They tried it before against NRG too. It has not worked. It has not worked. Cloud9 are in their heads.
Toxins going up.
The Sentinels, I mean, the only thing you're going to be looking forward to here is making it respectable, I think.
Yeah, and also not just that, but trying to get some confidence back into your players. I'm thinking specifically Zekken here, because the fact of him being 0-5, and it's not 0-5 because Zekken's playing an awful game. It's because they're getting completely read by Cloud9, shut down every time they want to go into a choke. He can't do anything. He's never taken a favored fight. You still might expect him to win 1 or 2, but 0-5, and heading into the next map, he's going to be taking the Raze head-to-head against Zeppa. So you need to get some confidence into it.
Calls made to take the fight here. 2 flashes committed. There was another one at play to help Zelsis out because Zeppa has got his teammates back. Denying all of that one. And I mean, just
another
read the
first
play.
Yeah, another first death where they read the play. Zekken's first in, and they shut him down. It's bad weaponry again, obviously. I'm not talking about it in terms of it being his fault, but I do think
30 seconds
the
left.
like mental damage might be coming through now for the next map. You still need Sentinels to believe that they can win this on Fracture and Haven.
It's about getting as many rounds as possible into your bout because this one's just locked up here. It's going to be that 11th round. Economy's good. Pancada just hoping to do as much damage as possible here. Right click, taking away a couple of the pieces of the armor, bits and pieces nevertheless, but not the kill that he was hoping for.
If you see one of my creatures, it's a good thing, all right?
Cloud9
We'll figure out what they do eventually.
just look phenomenal on this map, and it's not just here. Like I said earlier, their map pool looks fantastic. Their Fracture's been good in the past too. The Haven pick, it is a surprise, but I really hope we go to 3 just so that I can see what Cloud9 have got cooked up there. At the moment, this team is one of the most delightful to watch.
Yeah,
super disciplined, always coming up with new ideas and executing it to perfection.
It's just outstanding what they managed to achieve as well. Expectations at the beginning of the season were low, given the changes they ended up making back and forth, obviously. I'm going to bring in Rooney and Jake with not much experience at all, but they've shored up those defensives. Still, fast play. Pushing deep into C. Pancada, let's get the first kill, but backing away now on a bit of a spam angle. It's no Odin in the hands of Marv. He's waiting for this plant to come down in a common enough position, but Cloud9, look at that discipline. Again, they waste it out. They don't rush into things. They get the first pick, but they're perfectly happy to slow this down and wait for the cooldowns once more. Orb coming up. Swing from Jake as well. Takes the fight, but there's a trade almost immediately there. Yet still, backup finally arriving with the gun advantage that they've got in their hands. Flash, Sassy dodges, and Sassy contains.
It's a nice round from Sentinels. They're able to control it, and they get that first pick onto Leaf, finally taking him out of the action. And Leaf did invest in that round. He bought the hero rifle on their bonus, and actually Zelsis is going to drop him, and Zelsis just using the stinger. Very selfless behavior. I can appreciate that.
I mean, he's frying right now.
Yeah.
Invest the resources. So what worked well for SEN in that previous round is this early A pressure. Take control of that extremity, but you got to contain over towards C now with that first kill. There's no time wasted. Popping all the way through. Kind of holding very far back as well. Has one Nano Swarm in a common plant position, so that's going to be buying a bit of time, but it's still planted a little bit further back. Doesn't catch all of it.
Spike planted.
It's still not a bad plant spot, though. They can play the post-plant lineups from a long way away.
Seekers though to try and re-clear this one. Dog broken. In but a moment here, second round the back. Leaf doesn't have the crosshair placement. So fight one. Clearing up some of the Nano Swarms, but one popped off, and this post plant can still be played from the top of the mountain position. How do you win this one? Def smoking it off still. Seeing it now, the Viper Orb as well as that. A bit of spam at battle back and forth, and I hate it when the rounds come down to this, because it really does feel like a coin flip at best, but time is running so damn short. Crosshair placement was good. Spike ticking down though. You don't have that luxury anymore. Can't play it. Have to back away. Have to save. So Cloud9 find himself on that 12th round, on that map point. All the way. And we sing the praise of this Cloud9 team. Time is over of being surprised as well.
Point.
I mean, they've weathered the storm early on. They found their footing with this roster. The map pool is looking fleshed out. Looking like a real weaknesses in Cloud9's map pool. Yet to really being discovered. So it might come down to this. Big clash now over towards the A side. Nade around the back, Paranoia as well, moving backwards and forwards. Leaf still claiming two off to the side. Dev still on a high ground position. He's only going to get two before eventually brought down.
And there's the advantage that Sentinels could just never find on their attack half. The brawl that happens, usually favoring the attackers, Marv, forced to make a play with a player disadvantage.
Yep, drops down. He's noted. They're going to be able to hear that one. Lockdown in play as well. And now there has to be an increase of the tempo. The pace brought up a tad, but no. Respect to be shown. Backing away from the ultimate. You're going to get detained by Gata. Oh, no. And now that spike timer ticking away. It's agony. It's going to be brutal. And what much more can you do? The post-plant setup. Playing safe. All the way back. Spam angles with the Odins. They know exactly where to aim for here. Fight has to be taken. Not winnable at all. 13 rounds versus the 4 that sent a North American team for Cloud9 to take out his Sentinels. Last one standing to really submit that dominance across all other squads that are going to be in that split. So here we see it. Contacting up. Fight's going to be taken very early on. And, well, player quality might be matched pound for pound, but the coordination of Cloud9 is just that much better.
I have to spike.
So effective. Posting up onto the angles, making sure that they cover for each other, and the fire's there. And Zekken and Pankata are the last two players standing.
God, the way that they peek that. It's beautiful. Sentinel's not using any utility because they just want to contact in. That's exactly where Cloud9 were exploring too. The way that Rooney grabs one and falls off of fault lines. They just know what their role is so well. And like Sean, I'm a bit befuddled how quickly they've got this together.
Yeah.
Can Zekken and Pankata do anything here to pull this back? A 2v5. Pankata's trying not to get into the turret sight line because he's got a lot of space. He's just trying to hold it and wait for Zekken. Now Zekken comes along, he breaks the turret, sets up his own. They're going to try to get a plant down.
It's done. Push them back and away. Cloud9. They don't flood in entirely. They just break the util and push back that to buy time for the rest of their team now. Start to get into position. Spike's going to be planted. An opportunity granted, but with the smoke cutting off one of those angles towards halls.
Nobody
Oh, this
peeking
is so
together.
hard. Yeah,
Perfectly disciplined.
Pancada passed. I believe it was in a tweet from Kaplan, actually, that it was largely pugging, just kind of, Def's calling on the fly when they played Fracture against MIBR. There was nothing preset in terms of how they were playing it. But I think against a team like Cloud9, where they have a really good idea of how to take fights together, the macro ideas are nice, the adaptations are good, you need a bit more. That's a good opening, though. Sassy doesn't immediately retreat and go across the ropes. Still holds his ground, still locks down that position.
He would love to give a little more info to the rest of his team.
Done.
Now as the stun comes through,
Surely
he
get
should
on the
be
ropes
open.
here. No, goes down. Taken out.
Perhaps wouldn't have had the time anyway, to be honest. But the rest of Sentinels were looking like they wanted to re-clear underneath tunnel. And now, yeah, gonna commit to it. Gonna re-clear out Arcade as Pancada just holds that spot at tree. The weaponry's not good. We've seen Cloud9 win a lot of ecos, not so much Sentinels.
It's a 4-on-4. All it takes is a couple of shots to find their mark. Yet, wow, lined them all up
Enemy remaining.
and beaming them all down. They don't stand a chance.
It's gonna be incredible plant denial. If Sentinels get close, how do they actually get the plant stuck?
Cloud9 could look to formulate something on this bonus round.
It's the same plan every round here, over towards Arcade. Zepparuni and Jake, slow pushing towards Arcade, all holding angles for each other, grabbing information. The thing is, SEN don't realize that that just happened, so it's not something that they can really abuse.
Maybe Cloud9 have done their homework yet again. They came prepped from that Lotus game, the way they were playing. And for SEN, I mean, there is footage, recent footage at that, on how they've been playing. A fight might be taken, though, here. Towards the door, Boombot, opening up wide. Sassy does hold down the one angle. Still Leaf wants to really take the fight to them. Another deep flash with the stinger. Not really too favored in a long-range engagement. Yet Zeppa, he picks up the pieces towards the end. All that damage done. Flash as well, aftershock. Pushing them back, but guess what? Jake on the flank. Def slight adjustment to the movement there. Over a strike. As Jake thought he was going to be pushed and punished there. Pushed back. Marv does clean up that one kill still. Whoa! My goodness, meeting him face and face, and the spike's been dropped down. 25 seconds left. Pancada with a rifle against the world. I mean, it's just impossible. Doesn't have the time to reclaim it. Has to save the gun into the next. And Cloud9, they walk away from this bonus round.
10 seconds
looking
left.
all the more richer. 3 more rifles to be gained, looking to steadily cement that lead.
That situation was like Leaf ordered next day delivery on the spike. It just, the delivery driver just came zipping over the rope and handed it to him.
Dropped right into his lap.
Just a ridiculous situation, but also Jake's flank there through tree. If he goes down, Pancada had already lurked into B. So that duel that Jake took, he had to be able to get one and survive for long enough to force Marv away. Otherwise, there was still a chance for Sentinels to win that. But I'm so impressed with how active Cloud9 are. First 20 seconds, they push out Arcade. Then they go round to re-clear halls, find Sentinels, take the fight, win the fight. They're so active, and they win another round where their economy is worse than their opponent. It just looks dominant. This is going to be an amazing start to the map.
And they've got such a good read on all of this. Footsteps are being heard. It's a contact re-clear towards Arcade from Cloud9. All the space being taken. Yeah, same thing again. Clearing the close corners. Fight still wider. Swing there, Marv out in the open. No one else to help him, and they've lined them all up. Zeppa drops them all down. 4 kills. 1 player left standing, all towards the south side of the map. That's Pancada. Desperate to not give anything away.
And they're running for him.
They're running for him. Are they going to skip and hop? Are they going to jump around the corner? Are they going to deny him this one? They want to give the ace surely. No, taking it away. Listen, it's the percentage play. You can boo it. Why not? But
it is more
Zeppa,
optimal.
he had his ult already. We'll defend it. He already had it. He didn't need the kill. It would have been nice for the clip, though.
It's very true. That is, I mean, the breach utility coming through from Rooney is perfect. It might look like Zeppa's fighting on his own there when he could wait for his teammates, but he's supported so perfectly by the breach util. Cloud9 are just playing a masterful game. And come on, they're doing the same thing again at Arcade. Surely Sentinels have got the read right now. Surely they just go fast tree.
It's fully grouped up. All 5 of them onto B main.
This time, Rooney does not follow the rest of the squad out Arcade. This time, Rooney goes towards Generator, a spot where he can still provide utility for his team, whilst potentially cutting this off.
No way. No way. He's just spamming down on the angle. I mean, the Trace has given away his position. It's the 1-for-1. Plant now starting to go down. Any sort of disruption? Not quite. Players aren't quite in position. Now the Seekers to try and push them back here. Jake needs to stay alive. Nade rebounded. 10 health. Doesn't rebound deep enough. He's still alive. Stimmy now. Dropped. And another nade as well to push back that angle. Zekken can't take the fight. Can't afford to do it. Now the showstopper. Unleashed. Doubled up. Taking the fights. Dropped down into the choke. Marved to line up across the map, but he's the last one left. He's got to try and deny this long enough, and it's already half. Spraying, beaming, drops him. But it is half on the defuse already, and he needs to stay alive for any chance of winning this round. Smoke in his face, 7 HP, drop down, jumping around the corner. The shorty finishes it.
Sorry to spoil the party.
Great try by Marv, but it's just too good from Cloud9 again. They're only using one defensive setup. They are only using one defensive setup. This team probably has, I don't know, 4, 5, something like that in terms of ways that they can rotate people around and push in different areas. Fracture, you normally see so much variety from these defending teams. And time Sentinels exposed the gap and went towards Tree. Now Cloud9 are showing their next setup. So it's not that they don't have more defensive holds,
They're not
obviously.
even using utility. I mean,
They're just walking.
they're just taking the fight. I don't know if Rooney's holding the stun when they're going up onto that angle, but they're just walking onto the fight, walking onto the angle. It's like they're just aware that there's not going to be too much resistance. Still, now the Rolling Thunder. This is where the ults might come into play. Showstopper as well, but, well, Pancada, he's been dealt with. And that's got to be a hard read. You got to know that he was probably alone in that position. There wasn't a follow-up. And all that space being vacuumed up, taken. In the blink of an eye, 3 of the players moving forwards now. Flash as well, Satchel, deeper. Taking the angles, taking a fight. Sen have to take some risks and have to take some fights, and they will indeed. Orbital strike splits it up. But yes, still not winning the fights here. Smoked off now. Down to just 2 players left standing, and Def needs to be the difference maker because inside the smoke, Marv, a timing was attempted, but it's all being watched for. There are no gaps at all in the play from Cloud9 right now. Everything is being watched.
Yeah, nothing that Sentinels can find. Nothing that Sentinels' playstyle is exposing. And I just want to point out as well, Pancada is having an absolute nightmare of a day today. You think about what's happened to him, right, in this game overall. I mean, he's just getting bullied right there. And then on the prior map, he has a player fresh out of tier 2 stick the defuse against him, and he gets detained in the final round.
Yeah, it's not going well.
I mean, I know that this guy has championship experience, obviously. He's been at that level before, but even for a player of his caliber, it's got to be tough to keep your cool in these kind of moments. You just know that you're being outclassed. Oh my God, what a contact.
Just going to contact into each other again, and yeah, Rooney was holding the stun for the fault line.
Beacon here.
Just a 1-for-1 though. It's traded.
So this is very different. Now Sentinels actually have some space, some room to work with.
That's a good prowler as well, actually, as Jake was trying to do. What? Rooney? He just swings main.
That's crazy. They
Pushes
didn't
them
expect him
back.
to be there. They thought he'd be playing Jenny again.
That was out his teammate. And oh my goodness, all the space as well. That was a deep push through A main while all that was happening.
My ultimate is ready.
No stone unturned. Pancada, 45 health. Maybe he can salvage it. A bit of indication. He's found the first 2, but the job's not finished. Spike, really unfavorable. Just under a minute left to work with. Has the lockdown, but does he choose to invest it? Might just opt into taking the fights, but he knows he's got to be going up against at least a decent crossfire setup. It's a 3-2-1 and a swing from that. Cloud9 are too damn clean.
I think you're watching the end of the honeymoon period for Sentinels. You know, this week, I was hoping that Sen would have shown us some improved level of coordination, and frankly, fairly dramatic moves fairly quickly. I mean, if you were going to react to any game, a 13-4 loss and then a 7-0 start, there's going to be people reacting to this.
Yeah, I mean, the Sentinels fans as well would react to, I think, a strong gust of wind sometimes. I mean, it doesn't take much to set them off, but
I think this is more just absolute dominance from Cloud9.
it is. I mean, you've got to sing the praises of this squad because they are just looking picture perfect. Now Sentinels grouping up. 4 players to try and fight them over towards tower. Prowler, Satchel, rolling Thunderdome. It's mating them. Stunned up. They're all grouped up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Line them up.
Would you like another orbital strike, sir?
Yeah, just setting up, man. I mean, it's like I'm watching Wii bowling. They all just got collected and knocked down. That is just ridiculous.
What an amazing replay angle for that. God. This really is a bit booming. I think for the Sentinels players, they'll be in a tough spot mentally at the end of this game. Hopefully they can just shake it off.
Takes a lot to bounce back from something like this, though.
I know that Sean and Bala were talking about, especially Sean was talking about, like, when you get in a situation like this, you can just sometimes brush it off. It's not a heartbreaking overtime loss. The players are just like, okay, we got outplayed. Leafs picked up an operator and dropped a rifle for himself.
That's an orbital strike he's holding. Where's he using that for?
I mean, who knows? I think it's probably off the turret contact. I think they're going to melt Pancada.
This is so bizarre. Where is this going to be going?
Pancada's going to get turned into soup, mate. Look at this.
Is it really off the target? I mean, meanwhile, while this is happening, by the way, Leaf is just alone, taking luxuries around the map. He had an operator, of course. He's built up the bank enough that he can afford it. Got a rifle
Turret
pushing
contact.
out. There it is. Turret contact. Orbital strike. Pancada doesn't stand a chance. Melted into nothing. Evaporated. Whatever you want to call it.
God. I mean, the fact that, listen, if I'm Cloud9, I'm not even showing that setup in this game because you don't have to.
Nah. I mean,
but they're flexing on him at this point.
Flexing, yeah.
They could be running the same stuff and still creaming Sentinels, and they're pulling out new things. It's quite nice for us as fans because you get to see the depth of it, right?
Yeah, the desk has got a lot to pull from.
Left.
Yeah. But
although if it is a 12-0, I mean, I'll be feeling sorry for them. They'll be doing a halftime straight into a post-match, so.
But
be rough.
this is perfection.
Yeah, that's clean. Flawless.
Are we going to see a 13-0, Brent?
Again?
Another 13-0? Oof. I don't think so. I don't think so.
At some point, especially with Cloud9 starting to take those liberties, you can see Leaf as well. I mean, he was hopping on the angle. He pushed deep towards Arcade by himself. At some point, some part of this is going to go wrong. And there will be an opening, but it's just about Sentinels grasping it.
4 more chances.
Right there.
Lots of ults online. Potential's there. Maybe if you are Sentinels, you keep it simple now. You've got a lockdown. Straight for the B push, but there we go. Stun supplemented. There's going to be double satchel. And it is dealt with, but starting to see that squeeze now from the backside of things. Marv. Okay, no. I mean, wow.
Ridiculous!
Marv tries to get back onto the line when he hears them retreating. It's a noise bait. Leaf was holding for the repush.
That is ridiculous, the way that Cloud9 just recognized the threat that's there. I know that they flash through, so they know there's somebody in that area, but recognizing that it's a stack, they're just reading the game so well. Absolutely downloaded SEN. How have they anti-stratted a team that doesn't have strats themselves that much?
Yeah, I don't know. The layers aren't there, but...
No, but I'm serious. Like, this
crazy.
Sentinels team is talking about pugging it. That means that you don't have really strict protocols and strats to read into. They obviously have, like, bare bones ideas that they're going off and really smart players that are putting stuff together, but normally the more structured a team is, the more you can anticipate their reactions to everything. And yet, Cloud9 are reading every decision.
Interesting lockdown.
They found the lurker.
Yeah, I mean,
30 seconds left.
Jake this entire time was jiggling that
Last
angle,
player
just
standing.
anticipating it. And as they vacate the premises, with the lockdown going down, it's a swing. Masterfully timed.
You could frame this game. MCE and Cupid, the coaches of Cloud9, should frame this game and put it up in the Cloud9 offices. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a work of art. And there's a player, there's a person, I say player because he's actually the 6th player for Cloud9, but there's a person, a coach, that we don't give enough credit to, Cupid, who comes up with a lot of their comps and their ideas with
wait a
MCE.
second.
Oh, we're going to see the
This
Fnatic
is the
play.
Fnatic play.
Here it is, the C's over the top. There's nobody
He's on the top. Yeah, but nobody is there. And so...
Oh, no, that's the horn.
Oh, it's a
That's not
horn.
the C's.
Okay, just to try and spot it.
It's supposed to land on the top of the building.
Will it matter though? Because Jules being taken, fights being won. For Cloud9 yet again. Def, 4 HP in a dream, just lets loose the Rolling Thunder. Pushes them away, lockdown as well, and it feels like at this point there's no semblance of an idea of how they're using these ults.
Well, they have actually gotten a lot of space in order to plant the spike, so I think that ult combo is pretty fine, but you have to hold off Zeppa. He's coming around behind with a showstopper, and this is going to be able to make so much space. Pancada's holding it with an op. He's got to hit this shot. He's got to.
And he does indeed, straight to the brain. Picks up the rifle. Now to try and contain here. We can see the flood. An attempt by Cloud9, pushing forward. Sassy with the first fight taken. A quick reset. Touchdown, okay. Let it be known. No one wins 11 rounds in a row against Sentinels.
Last round before the switch.
We are not seeing a 13-0 today.
Okay.
They've saved themselves. I could see another Coach Kaplan video. I could see a Coach Drew Sparks video.
Oh, God, don't say that.
One enemy remaining.
No, I think... I really don't think Sentinels are playing a terrible game here. I think Cloud9 are just completely in their heads, dismantling them. I really think this level of dominance, it just proves to me that the top 2 in Americas is Loud Cloud9. I mean, there is no other team that's had this amount of consistency.
And you see it.
The other teams that are up there fighting, Furia, Leviathan, they've been a bit wobbly in certain weeks. And Cloud9 have beaten Furia. Leviathan have lost a couple games here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it is rock solid. Practically granite at this point in terms of Cloud9 having that just foothold. The top of the standings. I mean, you can see it as well. You know, the pre-show segment that we were doing today with the power rankings. Cloud9,
Yep.
every 2 weeks going up and up and up and up.
Bring them down.
Yeah, the ascension has just been incredible of this squad. Zeppa's got an op watching towards Arcade here as Sentinels group up looking for their second round. Big ults to be able to take the site. It should be tough for Cloud9 to hold on.
But, I mean,
they've stacked in the right spot.
Sassy's dumping his util into Hall to try and fake like they're going towards A, but no one on Cloud9 is budging. Showstopper to the side, Zekken. I mean, he's looking for something there towards Canteen, expecting a player to be holding. No one's looking to the side. Sassy, he does return the fire, brings it down. Rooney still alive, body blocked for about a moment. Operator in the hands of Zeppa. It makes the retake a little bit awkward. Celsius swinging wide. He's brought down 3-on-3. Spike's still not planted, though. And time is running short. No attempt to be made. Flick to the side, though. An adjustment from Zeppa. His target is found. The play is weak enough here with Sassy and Def. Got to play together. Got to play well. Nade pushing him back. Satchel as well in case someone's close. They are just converging. It's a pincer play as well through main together, taking their time with it because that's it. That's all you got to do. So well drilled. 11 rounds secured.
Everybody on Cloud9 should be ecstatic about how they're playing today.
By the book. And now we're getting things started here. The pistol round of the second half of Cloud9 looking to try and close this one out in a nice and clean fashion. Couldn't quite grasp that 13-0, but maybe they can make it 13-1.
Little trap play here. Looks very good. Fault line off contact.
This could boom them.
Wait, who's holding
Grabbing
contact,
the orb.
though? Where?
Surely off the orb here. You let loose the stun. Yes, you do. Players letting rip here. Tap of the ghost. Maybe you can find the target. Sassy! Damage is done. But Jake survives. Still in the fight with 16 health. Boombot spotted. They do spot out Leaf's position. Spike, though, still in the hands of a few of them, so they're going to start rummaging and running all the way through into the other section of the site. There will be a player to meet them. It's Def, but he is low on 10 health. Dropping down now. It's going to be known what sort of timing gets taken moving forwards. Fight, swarming the position, straight onto it. Rooney left alive, but there we go. Shots landed from the frenzy. Mark with 3 to clean it up, and so the pistol round going Sentinel's way.
I wonder if Sentinels can win this game.
You're looking at me. Okay, yeah, I mean... You want to start threading that narrative?
No, I really don't. I really don't. No, that's a nice pistol round. I mean, the way that they set it up there, trap play off the ult orb being picked up, it's pretty cool. They committed 3 players over to that. They had a high-low setup, 1 in tower, 1 tucked behind the box, and a fault line ready to go. It's good. It's well played by Sen.
Let's take a bit more.
Don't overthink
They
it.
haven't been
That's
lacking
my
for
job.
good ideas. I've actually liked some of their approaches. On Lotus, I felt like they were playing the macro fairly well. They just couldn't find an answer to what Cloud9 were doing.
Now, chance for Cloud9 to add another one to the 50-round conversion, but okay, well, Celsius stopped in his tracks. He was trying to take that wider peak angle, but
Only with a classic, though. The
Yeah.
real danger tends to come from Jake and Rooney's Sheriffs, and then Leaf and Zleppa swarming people with stingers and the like.
shots are rattled. The jump spot weak enough, though. Def will go down to that single bullet, but it should still be safe for SEN here. Pushing back up onto the angle. Oh, as I say that, potentially cursing it, but they are good in these scenarios. They've opened up the site from that. Orb's also being secured as well. Just percentage play, making sure that they can maximize that, try and get the ults online for later, with a plant as well. Big steadily building up to it. He's now 2 away. Second's got the position here. Leaf doesn't get caught. In fact, he's moved all the way around. Look at this. Pushing through into Jenny. Position spotted. Rooney with a shot. A Sheriff Demon in the making. We've already seen him work magic with that gun. Flash, re-peeking through, damage done. A couple of headshots landed, but SEN, they do win it. Josh, the look in your eyes there is of concern. Concern.
That would have been quite the way for Cloud9 to pick up another eco. All right. SEN survived that. They're not going to have a great bonus by going into the next, though. They've just got to force. I mean, when you're 11-3 down in this kind of situation, you can't try to inflict economic damage and allow Cloud9 to go up to 12. You just got to buy out and hope you win out. I really want to see what Cloud9 have got in store for us here. I think they've put a large prioritization on ult orb farming. And they're taking a timeout.
Timeout.
Back with these guys.
But even still, I mean,
to me, it's
dead
insane.
impressive. It's dead impressive.
It's ridiculous that they've got their foundation down so quickly that they can work on much more advanced
Marked
things.
one.
Yeah, just those small little improvements, tweaks to the overall game plan to increase that efficiency. And what's being showcased here by Cloud9 is a lot of contact plays. I mean, there's not too much early utility being used.
But look, ult orb taken by Jake. Now he's one away. Leaf, in theory, could play for the ult orb, and he is over at R.
And he's got a Seekers online, so you're seeing it. Just from that prior round into the Thrifty.
The flank, though, comes through a tree. They're
And
behind them
more fight to
already.
be taken. Yep, Zekken and Sassy together, working in tandem, making sure that they can push them all the way through and back and away, winning out these fights. And the anchor position, Pancada, he does get his one, but eventually traded out, rejoining.
So that's a very good adaptation from Sentinels, and it really punishes that slower style as Cloud9 are picking up the
Player
orbs.
standing.
Well done by them.
No, Jake. They know exactly where he's sitting. At least roughly his position towards Arcade here. There's not too much you can do, and there's a smoke in your face. 30 seconds left as well. Just got to wait for them to dissipate, and one player takes
30
contact.
seconds
I love the movement there to isolate one of the fights. He knew the reswing was happening there from Canteen, but he just couldn't quite hit the shots.
So that's a push out through A-halls, and they catch Cloud9 picking up the ult orbs. So punishing them for trying to optimize their gameplay like that. By the way, Brent, that's also Zekken's first kill of the series so far. Took him 32 rounds and 11 first deaths
That's brutal.
to find an opening engagement that he felt favored in. And he really was favored there. I mean, he just shot the players in the back because they outplayed them with the macro. I mean, that's the first time that Sentinels have really felt like they had a read on what Cloud9 were doing.
Where are you?
Danger continues here because no room for error. 11 rounds for Cloud9. They only need 2 to try and finish this series out, and with how dangerous they've been, spoken over and over again about the eco round win rates. What is it, in the high 30%?
32.
32%. About double what other teams are being able to put out. There's a nice little seize into the aftershock.
Great combo.
Nade as well, but the plant still goes down, sacrificing a life for that one. And that means that Cloud9 can play this post plant, and the wash fall. Good clearance there from Bancada, aware.
Out of charges.
Now playing through into the main. Orbital strike, working forwards. That's a very important kill to find. Rooney does trade it out with Zekken falling, but it removes the orbital strike to delay this one. But Rooney's earned his Rolling Thunder. Skips his way across. Player stunned up, doubling up. Still Celsius alive. And does he have the util? Does he have the time? No one's got to really stick this now to try and hold this marked onto the angle. Needs to win this fight out. Having a defuse. No way. Taken out. And has enough been done? Is it being brought on away?
And that was an eco round for Cloud9.
And I told you they get dangerous.
They get very dangerous. Wow, that was close. Incredibly well played there towards the end as well by Zelsis, who goes for a wide swing past Marv's position in order to pick up the player on the defuse. And Marv only just manages to recover that one. Wow. They did draw out the Rolling Thunder from Rooney, so that's not going to be an available tool. But it's still many more rounds for Sentinels before the comeback is truly on. I like this proactive play, though. Zekken and Sassy pushing out together, holding hands up towards Dish. That does get Cloud9, does get Sentinels a lot of good info.
They're not going to be in position, though, to deny this plant. At least for the moment here. Now starting to flood into the position. They can hear that plant as well being triggered, but the longer they take with this, the worse it's going to get. Nightfall, is there an attempt to flood in? Catches, Decay down, Zephyr, he's so damn low, but no kill in sight. The lockdown's going to be used now, pushing them all away. Time being bought. I mean, Leaf was on the ropes there, trying to catch a reflank as well. This is still dangerous, though. Cloud9, they got that orbital strike in the back pocket. I was talking about it earlier and prior. Have to use their util now to clear them out. The molly, though. Time's being bought. The spike's going to start ticking. Lockdown used. And which one do you prioritize? Which one do you break? Onto the ult. That's where they choose to use it. Denies it. Is there going to be half onto this one? It's getting messy, it's getting scrappy, it's getting chaotic. Death pushes forward, so the lockdown, half on the defuse, and again, Marv looks down the angle, shuts it down with a wider swing.
Sentinels really asking questions of Cloud9 right now. I think the exchange of ults there was really difficult for Cloud9 to manage. And you saw them take the decision to deny the spike, forced out by the lockdown, and gave tons of space to the Sentinels players. Marv as well with a really nice read. Marv has been incredibly important for them in these situations. Obviously, sticking the defuse with 0.15 seconds left, very, very important. But then also holding the angle, catching the lurker.
And so by a thread, Sentinels hanging on here. The retakes have been very nice, but again, I'll reiterate the exact same point that I said just about earlier here. These eco rounds of Cloud9, they get dangerous, they get scrappy, and Pancada's really starting to get pressured. Rolling Thunder to relieve some of it. It's coming out on the defensive side. Showstopper from Zephyr lets this one rip, and they really want to try and take this tower control. You can see all of this util being expended. Wow, 0 damage. That's a bit crazy. Flash as well to push forward. Pancada, he maintains his hold onto that one area of the map. The rest of Sentinels as well. We've got all that space, but there is an adaptation here. The pivot from Cloud9, they're quick to take up the space into A-Hall. Spike also now starting to make its way over there, but Sentinels, the way this map plays out on Fracture, they get the fast rotates through spawn.
And they've got the read. Zekken still has nade here to deny. They have seized nade, in fact, if they wanted to go for it.
Bolt line, buy some time. Common angle, close angle. Prowler doesn't spot it. Fight taken straight to him, and a reload's been gotten off here. There was no trade from Sassy because he was holding his utility.
What a perfect play by Leaf as well, reading the fact that he would catch both players with util in their hands.
And it's falling apart ever so slightly. 3 versus 3. Still that extra element here. Has to be a clearance. Marv turning, twisting this way, that way. And Cloud9 is so good at this. They pick and choose their timings immaculately. Flash around the side, Leaf wins his fight. It's down to Pancada, and he's so low. 42 health. And they just take it. The timing there, jump spotting around the corner. And the danger lies there.
Match point.
It's another eco for Cloud9. When Zephyr invested in Showstopper at the start of the round, I thought, hello, wait a second. Cloud9 are using a lot of their ults here instead of grouping them up for one big round where they could push themselves to match point. But instead, by virtue of attrition, they just grind down Sentinels because Cloud9 have their chances of winning any of these last 3-4 rounds.
Yeah.
And they finally break through, push themselves to match point. Zekken with an ult. Great to deny, but he's anchoring in tower. No, he's not. He's going crazy deep in the spawn.
I mean, there was a stun off of that, a Haunt as well on the other side, anticipating that it was going to be, you know, of course, a player maybe just anchoring off to the side. That rocket sailed all the way through to the other side of things, and Pancada, well, with him gone, none of that util to push them back. It's a 4v5.
Right here.
And Cloud9 are now getting set up for the slam dunk.
That's such a rough peek by Pancada, man.
Right planet.
Cloud9's
late.
most usual response is going to be a tree push, and he was baited by the fact that it didn't come quickly.
And Sentinels are going to get tested here. There's a rolling fund to deny. time is not a luxury that they have. They have to play this fast. A timing to be taken here. Zekken on the ropes, though. He made a bit of noise, but it wasn't heard in the smoke. Zeppa moving around, pushing forwards. It's a wider swing, but he's low enough that a bit of damage will do it. But still, they need to get on this, and they need to force out that ult. Rolling Thunder still waiting. Finally now, denying it. Molly on top of it as well. Time running short, moving forwards. Kills found, kills claimed. And Sentinels might still have a chance. Aftershock though. Marv's got to stick this to half, and this could be a brutal way to end it. Leaf taking the space, moving forwards and beaming and through 13 to 6. Not enough room to breathe for Sentinels. An honest attempt at the comeback. Round by round taking it, but not enough room to breathe.